So a reoccurring theme on YouTube is to title every single build video broken OP, overpowered, crazy, insane, all those sorts of things. And what I wanted to do in this video is talk to you about why those titles exist, and at least why I personally title videos like that. And just quickly before we do get into the video, if you're not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you do turn notifications on. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, all support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support me further as a creator, then check out the links in the description. And let's get into it. So we'll start off the video with that one, why I ask you to subscribe every single video. And that is because, I have to thank every single one of you before I explain this. So a huge thank you to everyone that has supported the channel over the last 8 years. But more importantly for me, recently, because around mid to sort of end February, I had about 73,000 subscribers, and at that time I was constantly posting rants and all that sort of stuff, and it felt good. The views were coming in, and that's obviously the whole part of a YouTube channel and running a business. But then Elden Ring released, and from the day that come out, Feb 25th, I have not only gone up 30,000 subscribers, but the game itself has obtained over 7 million views on my channel. So that has taken the growth to limits I never thought we would actually hit. To see 20,000 subscribers gained on the channel in the span of a single month is crazy. But if I don't ask people to sub at the beginning of the video, then people might not think about it and they wouldn't subscribe. If I ask them at the end of the video, there is a lot of people that don't make it to the end of a video. And when you come to YouTube, you don't necessarily always think that someone's trying to build a business. You just think there's a video created, I'm going to watch it, and that's it. So by asking, I don't expect people to do it straight away. I appreciate the fact that people want to watch through multiple videos before making their mind up. And I also appreciate that some people will never ever sub. And not only that, because of history and all that sort of stuff, people just absolutely hate what I do on the platform. And it's the same for any other creator. But if people don't know that your business is there and it's something you're trying to grow, then they're not going to help you grow it. And it's as simple as that, and that's why these titles come into play. So even though some of you will think that first part is just rambling, it all does tie into this. And obviously the first part of naming a video like that is the views. A lot of people come to the channel and say, just give it a normal title, why have you got a clickbait? If I put something along the lines of Elden Ring Iron Greatsword Build, nobody's going to click on it. That title is not enticing enough to generate a click. And that's why you see all these clickbait arrows in thumbnails and stuff, because the whole point of building a channel and gathering views is to make your titles and thumbnails clickable. And there's a saying I always like to refer to of don't judge a book by its cover, and I like to think that people don't always necessarily entirely judge a video by its title. So when I put something like my latest video, most OP Elden Ring Faith Build after patch 1.04, and then Elden Ring Best Faith Build late game, that's just to tell you this build is really powerful. It's after patch 1.04 and it's the best, if not one of the best, faith builds for late game. But you also get people that will come to a video and of a build for Elden Ring as an example, and they'll say, test this against enemies that are aware, test this against different bosses. And for those of you that have played Elden Ring, it's not easy to gather bosses to test builds against. I've taken down most of the bosses in the game, so that would require me going through to New Game Plus. But not only that, when you're putting together a build and you're showcasing it in a video for someone else to get encouraged to put that build together themselves, you're going to want to show it as powerful as you possibly can. And when you're playing any game in the world, but mainly something like Elden Ring, you're going to want to kill the enemies. That's the whole point of having a build and gear and all that sort of stuff. So if you can take the enemies down unaware and you can deal more damage, that's beneficial to the build and it gives it more value. But not only that, when you see broken OP, most OP, overpowered, crazy, insane, all that sort of stuff, whether it's an Elden Ring Bleed build, Elden Ring Strength build, anything like that at all, it's because if you go into the game and you kill an enemy at Gatefront Ruins, you're going to get some standard weapon drop. Let's just say, I can't even remember the name of the weapon, but I think it's a Lordsworn Straight Sword or something like that. And if you've got that, you put a build together, you're not going to get that much power. You'll still make it powerful because most things in Elden Elden Ring are really powerful. But if you find something like the Rivers of Blood instead of the Uchigatana, and you've got Corpse Piler being the skill, that's going to be classed as overpowered because it's way more powerful than something standard. And then when it comes to broken, some things are genuinely broken in some sort of a way. So like Hoarfrost Stomp, if someone did a build and people thought, okay, it's just a standard Hoarfrost Stomp build, but the creator had titled it broken, Hoarfrost Stomp in the developer's eyes was broken. And not everything's always going to be nerfed and stuff like that. But I think that's just like a general sort of concept. The whole point of a YouTube channel, like if you're taking it seriously, is to get as many views as you can. And over the last 8 years, I've obtained over 40 million views, and I would like to take that to the next figure, so 100 million. And then one day maybe 1 billion views or something crazy like that. Obviously that's a long way off. But if I don't put these sorts of titles, I'm not encouraging them clicks. And that's why a lot of the builds are broken OP, overpowered, so on and so forth. It happens all over YouTube, and I like to say there's a fine line between clickbait and misleading. So clickbait would be something like broken OP build Elden Ring, and that's going to generate clicks. A lot of people are going to get annoyed, especially if they've got a build that's more powerful or something like that. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with a title like that. You see it everywhere on YouTube. It's just because it generates, like, it entices that click more than just a standard sort of title. And it all depends on your community, your following, and everything like that. There's a lot of different factors to it. So you'll have the clickbait titles, but then you'll also get things that I like to say are misleading titles, which I think are completely wrong, and that is something like 400 million runes, 120 plus million runes. Things that you can't actually obtain by watching that video. You're not providing the value. I know a lot of people do these videos where they make it 12 minutes long, the first 10 minutes is just rambling, then the final 2 minutes is the whole part of the title, the thumbnail and everything. That's the valuable piece of information from that video. And it gets annoying to watch a lot of the time. But if you're really interested in that topic, you're going to click the video. Then if you're interested enough, you're going to watch through, you're going to have a relatively poor experience, but at the end of it, you will get something from it. But when it comes to misleading, it doesn't matter if your video is 2 minutes or 25 minutes. Titling it with something like 150 million runes in an hour, we all know it's a load of bullshit. But it's just, it does enough to make people click, so that's why it's done. I think the most you can actually get without going through to New Game Plus and Elden Ring is about 12 million an hour. That's Gold Scarab, Gold Pickled Foulfoot, Sacred Relic Sword, and you're taking down the Albinurix on the hill in Mog's Palace, or Mog's Dynasty. But you get these people that say, oh, I'm going to climb up the cliff there, I'm going to jump out the edge of the map, and I'm going to get 1 million runes every single time I swipe my weapon. And no, it's not going to happen. You're chatting shit. That's just straight up. And then another thing that comes into Elden Ring videos specifically is these dodgy, scammy websites that encourage people to purchase runes and stuff. And that's more tied in with misleading, because you can sit there and you can get 1 million runes in the space of, I don't know, we'll say 5 minutes. You go to one of these sites and they tell you, we'll get you 1 million runes, but it's going to cost you like £5-6 or however much they charge for it. And I know a lot of people basically dislike bomb, like even though a lot of people can't see the dislikes on YouTube anymore, there is a tool you can use when you're using Google Chrome and you can see the dislikes, or you can at least see some of them, because it does work weird. I have that tool, and in my Creator Studio it tells me a completely different number, but you get a rough sort of estimate as to how bad the video is and how misleading it is, based on the likes and dislikes. I know a lot of people disagreed with YouTube removing the dislikes, but it sort of tells you, because there's been rune farm videos, like even if I'm just sitting there researching stuff and I'm watching a rune farm video, I go on there and I see, oh, this person's got 2k dislikes to 1200 likes, I'm just going to click off it. So there's, in my opinion, a fine line between clickbait and misleading. And clickbait is what I do, and I'm going to admit, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I do clickbait, but it's good clickbait because it just encourages the click. People watch the video, they're going to get some valuable information from it. Whereas misleading are the ones that will say you're going to get 500 million runes by sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You don't even need to hold your controller, and you're not even going to get a single fucking rune doing that. So I just wanted to do this video to kind of clear things up and maybe give some of you a bit of insight as to why you see so many titles like that, because I know how many people get pissed off with it. But it's just because if we gave the videos a title, something like, check out this Elden Ring Rivers of Blood build, you're not going to click on it. It doesn't matter what your thumbnail looks like or anything. If you see a standard bland title like that, you are not going to click. But that is insight basically from my experience and the reason I do it. Everyone's going to have their own reasons, their own opinions and thoughts and everything. But I thought I'd give you a little bit of insight from a content creator themselves and hopefully you do understand it a little bit better. I still expect people to kick off about it, but at the end of the day, the titles are not going to change. That's what brings in views, that's what grows my channel, grows my business, and keeps food on my family's table. But what we're going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments about it, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.